I've helped thousands of health and fitness coaches get off the gym floor and escape being in the weeds of one-to-one coaching and help them build a business. Now, here's the truth. There's a big difference between the ones that make it and the ones that don't. The ones that make it end up building an amazing business that gives them the freedom to travel and the ability to give their family experiences that they never thought possible. Whereas the ones that don't make it usually end up trapped on the gym floor, or even worse, quitting and ending up in a dead-end career that they don't want to be in. In this video, I'm going to share the truth on what really determines whether or not a personal trainer, health and fitness coach, or online expert is going to fail in the industry, and what makes the big difference between the ones that thrive and absolutely crush at life and crush a business. Number one, they don't market themselves. The biggest reasons why coaches fail is because they don't market themselves. They're scared of criticism, scared of saying the wrong thing, and scared of being factually incorrect, and ultimately what other coaches think of them. So what do? They overthink, they overcomplicate, and as a result, nobody hears their message. Nobody buys into them because there's nothing there to actually see. And they become the world's best kept secret with all this coaching knowledge and expertise, but nobody really gets to benefit from it. And as a result, their business dies. You might be a great coach, but in today's world, you need to be a great marketer too. It's as simple as that. The fitness industry isn't about who's the best coach, it's about who's the best at getting attention, keeping it. And if you don't market, you don't exist. Period. So keep this in mind. Coaches aren't buying from you. It's members of the public that have got a problem or pain point that you solve. Be their hero. Communicate to them on a regular basis. And if you're scared about marketing, well, guess what? All of the people that you could help miss out and end up going to somebody that's a better marketer, but might not be a better coach. Let that sink in. Reason number two, coaches are great at copying other coaches. And here's the biggest mistake that I see, is that they take a popular influencer system, their message, their style, and then become a watered down, cheapened version of them. For example, my friend James Smith in the UK, pretty much every other personal trainer has copied James at some point. But what happens? They end up sounding like a mini cheap version of James Smith. They cheapen their brand, they end up competing on price because there's nothing unique about them. Now, it's fine to borrow inspiration in the beginning when you're just starting out, just like learning an instrument. You start to play music from a popular band or a popular song, but at some point you need to find your own voice. You need to find your own music, and that requires courage. And when you find your own voice, that's when you actually become authentic. Everybody's talking about how to be authentic these days. Being authentic is actually saying the shit that everyone else is thinking, but nobody else is saying. So your audience will follow you for your beliefs and your values and your stances, not because you sound like somebody else, but because you actually had the courage to go first and say what everyone else was thinking. So keep that in mind, because if you build a business around somebody else's voice, it will always feel out of alignment. Reason number three, so many coaches are afraid to sell. They're afraid of hearing the words no, being rejected, or they're too dear, or they sound salesy. Look, if that's you, wake up. You have to embrace sales if you want to win. Sales is not manipulation. It's actually the ultimate gift of service. Sales is service. If you have got something that can change somebody's life, it's your duty to let them know. If you genuinely believe you can help someone, tell them. You have an ethical and moral responsibility. If you find it difficult to charge, it's because you have limiting beliefs around money based on your upbringing that you need to heal, and you're still experiencing the subconscious drama that you've indoctrinated into your system. And as a result of that, you're not selling and not bringing in revenue for your business, so you can't actually afford to run it. So there's two reasons. You struggle to sell because you haven't healed your relationship with money that was influenced by your parents or your upbringing. Or number two is that you don't actually know how to sell because you haven't invested in learning the skill. And if you don't know the skill, then you're going to come across as weird and wacky. Combine that with limiting beliefs and it's a recipe for broke. So you actually have to, one, heal your relationship with money, and two, develop the skills of how to sell and word your offer so that it sounds literally like the exact thing that your target market wants. If you want help doing that, it's definitely worth a chat with our team. Click the link in the show notes and they will help you. Reason number four, broke coaches try to figure everything out by themselves. Building a business through trial and error is stupid. The best coaches invest in themselves. They invest in new skills, new frameworks, new tools, and new education so they can make decisions faster. They don't guess their way forward, and they also are open to hiring people to help them in their business. They actually treat their coaching business like a real business, and they don't build it around them. So here's the deal. If you're out there selling coaching, but you don't have a coach yourself, you don't believe in the very thing that you're selling. The gap between where you are right now and where you want to be can be solved with coaching, because that gap is what it's ultimately costing you every single month not to get coached. You can watch all the free content in the world, but it won't make a difference if you aren't implementing it. And that's where a coach comes in, because they help you spot the blind spots in areas that you aren't taking action in. Reason number 5, they don't practice what they preach. Look, there's a lot of drama around this, and I'm just going to say it. If you're a coach, if you are teaching strength, teaching people how to get leaner, or you're teaching people how to improve their mindset, whatever it may be, you need to be a role model. You are a walking, talking business card. But so many trainers are out of shape. They have got the worst mental state of all time. If you don't live by the principles that you teach, is it any wonder why you're broke and people don't trust you? It's because you're not in alignment. Your words aren't in alignment. You don't embody the very thing that you actually teach. People buy you. You are the offer. Now, if you're a retired athlete or you're injured, that's fine, but you should still practice what you preach. If you're selling health and fitness and better bodies, you need to be in shape. If you're selling great relationships, you need to be in a pretty solid relationship. You have to be a role model and practice exactly what it is that you're preaching in order for people to fully trust you. Are you going to trust a broke accountant? No, you're not. Reason number 6, they get complacent. Some coaches have a few good months, maybe even a solid year, and all of a sudden they get comfortable. They think that they've made it. They stop marketing, they stop selling, they stop coasting, and then the market evolves past them. Competition rises, and essentially you can see this in the industry itself. Personal trainers are better marketers than ever before. They're now using sales techniques that otherwise would have been used in advanced businesses, but they're now integrating them in because competition and the amount of personal trainers and coaches in the industry has risen dramatically after lockdown. So if you're not keeping up, you're falling behind. The second you stop adapting, learning and evolving is the second you become irrelevant and your business starts going backward. The most important thing that you need to ask yourself every single time you post a piece of content, is this the most relevant thing that my market needs to hear right now on the internet? And if the answer is yes, post it. If it's not relevant to their pain points, their goals, their dreams, their big questions around why I should work with you, don't post it and find something that is relevant. The fitness industry is one of the biggest opportunities of a lifetime. There are more clients than ever before, and they need help. Never fall into the limiting belief that the industry is too saturated or there's too many trainers. Playing the victim is another reason why coaches stay broke. So you actually need to lean into being the individual that's going to disrupt and conquer the market and know their worth and bring it to the marketplace and shamelessly talk about what they can do for people, how they can help them, and how they can get started. The coaches that do that consistently and know that they have an ethical and moral responsibility to let people know how good they are the ones that thrive. In layman's terms, you get rewarded for humbly bragging about why people should work with you. And if you're going to sit on your high horse and be scared to do that, you're going to leave people down to the one word which kills all businesses: assumption. Whenever you assume people know something about you, you're already broke, because the internet is a noisy place. People struggle to watch even 15 seconds of a reel nowadays. You've got to constantly remind them. And I'm going to close with this. Leadership is all about repetition. Market yourself, find your voice, learn to sell, invest in the right mentors, practice what you preach, stay hungry, do this and you'll thrive. Ignore it and you'll be out of business in a year. Now, if you want to know how to build the ultimate fitness business, one that dominates your market, prints cash, and gives you the real freedom, watch this next video. You're going to love it.